Welcome to DYM Marriage Transformation Coaching, heard in 180 countries, top 1% podcast worldwide. And we are thrilled that we walk alongside marriages that have been suffering and struggling, sometimes for decades. Then they come to our work and God changes everything. Listen in because you're going to hear transformation stories that are going to give you hope that things can change for you, or inspiring conversations with other experts, or teaching that's literally going to give you practical tools to make your marriage better today. My name's Bella Rose. Here we are. Let's go. Heal intimacy biblically. Delight your marriage. Hi there, welcome. My name's Bella Rose, and I'm thrilled you're joining me. So today's conversation is with a wife who felt, if you kind of describe it as cold or disconnected to her husband, not wanting his affection. And what happens a lot of times is husbands will come to this program and say, my wife is so the opposite. I'm the one that wants the connection. I'm the one that wants the romance. I'm the one that wants the affection. But she's cold and she's distant and she doesn't want the physical touch, even non-sexual physical touch. She doesn't want that. And so Hannah's one that took matters into her own hands. She saw that in herself and decided to come to the DYM Marriage Transformation Coaching and get herself transformed. And God changed their marriage. So it's really incredible to hear how Hannah owned it. She said, I need to work here. And I'm excited to let you hear the transformation that happened between the two of them. Now, it did happen through work. She was willing to humble herself and do coaching and be committed. And now their connection is stronger than ever. So let's go ahead and dive into Hannah's story.
Hello, Hannah.
Hi, Dana.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good, good. I am great. I am very excited to be here with you today, Hannah, to walk through your Delight Your Marriage story. I can't wait to hear all that God has done and is doing in you and in the relationships that are close to you as well, Hannah. It's such a joy to be here with you. Thank you so much for having the courage to being willing to come in here and share your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Well, why don't we start off, if you would, Hannah, just sharing a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I have been married for 15 years. My husband and I have been together for almost 20. Um, we have three boys, that are all elementary school aged, and I, was formerly, well, not formerly, I am still a nurse, but not working outside the home at the moment. Just kind of being the home calendar manager at the moment for right now for the season of life. And yeah, just delighted to find Delight Your Marriage.
That's excellent. And on that note, how did you find us, Hannah?
I I found Bella on the podcast probably 4 years ago. Um, just kind of in a season of trying to like figure out my marriage, our relationship, kind of post children and just seeing kind of, we needed a revamp, I guess. So found a couple podcasts, but Bella's really kind of just spoke to me. And I've been listening to them ever since.
Excellent. I love it. I love that you're here. So good. Well, you said Bella kind of spoke to you through that podcast. What was it that resonated with you, Hannah?
Some of the bigger the bigger things that resonated, I think was the fact that she seems to have, or not seems, she does have such a depth of knowledge of just like the basic needs of a husband and also the basic needs of a wife. And she doesn't beat around the bush when it comes to, her conviction that, wives are here to how does she always put it, to take good care of, our number one human assignment, and vice versa for men too, that, that's why they're here. I also appreciate really that her approach is very biblically based. She really has been gifted in taking scriptures and making them practical in a way that I had just never really heard before, or never heard laid out in such a way that it makes sense.
Totally. I'm with you. I am so with you on that, Hannah. Thank you for sharing all those pieces. And yes, 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 I agree. There was the same experience for me the first time I heard Bella. I was like, I I'd heard that. I thought I knew that, but this is landing differently for some reason. And it really intrigued me. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. I love that we have that similarity. So
Yeah.
good. Well, as I said, I'm really grateful that you found Bella through the podcast. I'm so grateful that you came here, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. I would love to hear first, Hannah, what were you struggling with that made you look for, this what you say, you needed a revamp, right? So what made you look for the resources? Uh, what were those struggles?
So I think that probably the two, well, I mean, they were all kind of big, right? The big things that Bella drives home for wives is that husbands need respect, admiration, and wholehearted sexual intimacy. And I think that the respect and admiration piece were were ones that I needed a lot of work on. Um, and just tangibly speaking, like I didn't have a good grasp on what respect meant and how it looked. And even like there had been years of my husband saying I didn't respect him, and I just could never figure out like what in the world he meant. Um, and he would try and explain it to me, and I just wouldn't get it. And it just kind of continued on. And it was like that was really frustrating. But yeah, because like, and he's actually my husband is such an excellent communicator that for him to not be able to put it into words for me, it's just unusual. Um, so that piece, I just needed to understand that and to understand what that looks like. And then on the admiration piece, I think I just needed encouragement on that. And being forced to sit down and look for the things that are admirable. It's just so easy to get lost in the things that are not. Um, and to have to sit down and really focus on the things that are was just, a habit that she helped me build. Um, and then even more so, like with intimacy, there were definitely pieces that I pulled out of the program that I had not understood fully before or grasped. And again, she just did an excellent job of laying all of those out.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. If you don't mind me asking, what were some of those pieces of intimacy that you didn't fully understand?
I think that some of the big ones were probably like, I don't know, for anybody who's been in church or grown up, in Christian culture, I think we definitely, or even not in Christian culture, like just in human culture, um, we know or we've heard how important sex is to men, and how often they think about it and how much it's on their minds and blah blah blah. But I think that there's obviously just so much more to that, and um just getting some information and really gaining an understanding of how that is important truly to their core of who they are. And um which in some ways is like a little bit daunting, but um, also encouraging that, something so small, quote unquote, um, can be such an encouragement to them. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so those are kind of the main.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, Hannah, was sexual intimacy a struggle in your marriage?
It it was and it wasn't, because I think that frequency was more the issue. Um, and I think that there's a little bit to be said for, there's ups and downs in marriage and different seasons with, little kids and pregnancy and postpartum and all of that. Um, so I think there's some normalcy in there, but I do think that probably making it a priority, making frequency a priority was probably the bigger struggle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Understood. Thank you for those details, Hannah. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you had any hesitations about coming into the clarity call process.
I did. Um, I did. I probably the hesitations were the time commitment, um, before the clarity call, just not even knowing what the time commitment was going to be or what that looked like. Um, and then also, I think coming into the clarity call, just wondering, like, what is this gonna cost? Obviously, like, money is important, but yeah, probably the time commitment and the money were the two things that I was most nervous about.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then, yeah, we'll touch on those in just a moment. But I'm curious, you did come into the clarity call process, regardless of these concerns. How was that for you? Clarity call, Hannah.
Well, it was with you, so it was delightful.
You're so
So
sweet. Thank
yeah,
you. I will take that.
yes, absolutely. You do a great job.
No, thank
Um,
you.
so yes, so I did come in, and I think that just even the way that you all have the process laid out, um, really gives people the ability to stop and think and get all their questions answered, and they don't have to, commit that moment that they first talked to you. And I think that was probably actually another thought where I was like, oh my goodness, if I do this clarity call, that means I have to decide right there, like whether I'm doing this or not. Um, so the fact that that wasn't the case was actually a huge kind of weight off of my shoulders. Um, yeah, so it was worth it, and I'm glad I made the call.
Fantastic. I am too, Hannah. I really am. And I'm grateful that that there was not that it wasn't a pressure-filled um, conversation because that's really not what it's meant to be. It's meant to be exactly what I hear. It's that opportunity to just kind of stop and think and process, maybe hear a different perspective from what you were, thinking or coming in with. Really fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed our clarity call process, Hannah. And then, so obviously, you were invited into the program,
Yes.
and you. What was the decision moment like for you? Like, what was it that made you say yes?
I think it was, I have to think back now. Since it was a
Hmm.
couple months ago. I think that the as I had some of my questions answered about kind of what the program looked like, um and what was going to be expected of me, plus also just some information on like program. There was, just a little bit of information I feel like about program content. It just kind of built the nagging feeling that this was where I needed to be and this is what I needed to be doing. So,
That's excellent.
yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes. And it was a joy to be able to invite you into the program, Hannah. And so in terms of so you had shared with me three areas, right, that were of most concern that you wanted that revamp, as you said. I love how you said that.
Yeah.
Respect and admiration, and then sexual intimacy.
Yeah.
Would you, what results have you seen in those areas as as a culmination of going through the program?
Um, s-
Let's
in
start with let's boil it down a little bit for you because I just gave you a big chunk there.
I was gonna say,
Let's look at the respect, like in the area of respect. What would you say have been the changes you've seen?
the changes I've seen. I have n- the changes I've seen probably in me are um that I just am more aware of how I'm using my words, um, how what tone I'm using. And not to say that I'm doing this perfectly because I'm not, but I don't know. I think I'm hearing the disrespect in a way that I had never heard it before. And this is not to say that I'm like sitting around judging everybody else's conversations, but there's been like a couple instances with other couples that I've heard recently and like a wife to a husband will say something and it would have been something that I would have said myself, like, and not even thought twice. And I've heard it and been like, oh, that's probably how I sounded. And that sounds ugly to me now. Um, so I think that yes, just a general awareness of how my tone and my words can make a huge difference. And my husband has even commented um that he feels like I finally figured it out. I finally figured it
Mm,
out.
oh,
No, which again is
that's
like
big. That's a big deal.
it is. And
It
he
is. Mm-hmm.
he has commented that he has felt more respected, which was kind of like the whole goal of this, right? Like those areas I was hoping that he would see change in those areas. And yes, he's commented specifically on the respect. So that's a huge win.
It's a big win,
Yeah.
Hannah. Really and truly is a big win. From not having a good grasp of even what it meant and
Right.
how to deliver it and the frustrations that ensued of it from it. And I hear you and I get it. I've been there. Um, it can be incredibly frustrating for both of you, right? To just be missing the mark. So I love, 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 Hannah, that you came in and with a willingness to hear and to become more aware
Yes.
and how much of a difference that's made
Yes.
in your relationship, obviously, first and foremost, but also, within you, because I can relate to sitting around, within groups and hearing those little, I'll just I'll just call them jabs,
Yeah.
that aren't necessarily intended to be jabs, but now knowing what we know, it does sound ugly and it's almost
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, but I think that's a huge praise to the Lord, for being able for us to understand now what that
Hmm.
looks like and how wildly important it is to our husbands that we respect them
Yes.
because it's the way they receive love, right? One of those ways. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
so good. How about in admiration, Hannah? What changes have you seen come about since learning
Oh,
more?
this is an area I think I will forever struggle with. But I will say that I, again, I think a big a big part of the admiration piece for me was being forced. I say that tongue in cheek. I wasn't really forced, but being forced to sit down and look at things that are admirable about him. Again, it's so easy to, we've been together for almost 20 years and thing like life just adds up and habits add up and they they just settle into a place in you where it's easier to look at all of the bad than it is to look at the good. And so taking the time to sit down and think through the good that does happen throughout the day.
Yes.
And just even with like daily gratitudes and things like that, I have definitely like slowed down on doing those because I felt like, okay, I've got a good arsenal of things that I'm feeling grateful for. I'm just going to take a break on that and see how things go. And kind of quick,
Hmm.
I kind of quickly realized that I was like, nope, I almost have to sit down every day and continue to do that, like whether I write them down or I even just sit down and take some time to think through them because it was that habit building that really kind of started to change my attitude again because I was forced to look at the good. And then on top of that, um, having as part of our, you know, daily to-do list, also using words to affirm the good that I see. And um, that has just that's never been a big part of how I work, I guess. And it, so it definitely took some time to build that in and then to also just start saying it out loud. Like maybe I would think a nice thing here or there, but for whatever reason, I just wouldn't open my mouth and say it out loud. So I have gotten into the habit more of noticing the good and commenting on the good. And again, that's another thing that I think Graham has kind of noticed that he has said to me. He's like, that he feels more seen than he has in a lot of years.
Wow.
So again, another win.
Huge win.
Yes.
Really big. Wow, Hannah. Well done.
Thanks.
Really. And I mean that with respect because it does take intentionality.
It does.
And clearly you get it. You get being intentional and then you get, oh, I'm good. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. You
Yeah.
know, really, really good. Oh, that's beautiful. Your husband feels more seen. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. In terms of the respect and admiration and his um really feeling a difference, right, in what you have done and
hmm
what you've learned. What feels most meaningful to you in seeing those shifts in him?
Um, what feels most meaningful? I would say that, like, selfishly, in some ways, I feel like I want to pat myself on the back because I feel like the way that he has responded and the ways that he has said that he notices, um, is just encouraging and it encourages me to want to do that more. Again, not that I'm like doing it perfectly all the time, but it yeah, it's a huge encouragement and I feel like I finally understand what it is that he's been saying to me for all these years and can now have the tools to put it into practice.
Yes, yes, yes. That's excellent. Really good. And then another struggle for you was sexual intimacy. Yeah.
hmm
What changes or results have you seen come about?
I so this is kind of again from changes that I've seen or heard more from him. um, is that he has said to me that he feels like I finally get it. Like I finally get how important intimacy is. And he has appreciated again the effort that I am putting forward into something that is so important to him. Um, and there have been some like turnarounds in that where he has like overall maybe become more helpful around the
Mm,
house or more
wow.
inclined to plan a date night, um, just because of the changes that I've made.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's good. Really, really, really sweet. Hannah, did he know that you had joined the program?
He did know.
He
He,
did know.
yes, it
Okay.
was one of those things where, again, I think the financials of it, I just kind of was like, I didn't, he has listened to Bella's podcast, so he's heard about the program. Obviously, he didn't really know any details about it, but yes, he did know that I was doing it.
Gotcha. I'm curious if it had ever been a topic of conversation, like, kind of maybe a little doubtful that he knew you were doing this program. So, were these did he ever question whether your changes were heartfelt or just checking the box,
Mm.
that kind of thing?
Yeah, he never, no. And I don't think he ever felt like it was a me checking the box thing. He felt like it was genuine, and um, he even thanked me a couple of times for doing all of this, like taking this on and doing all of this work, um, from my perspective so that I could understand him better. Um, so no, I don't think he ever felt like it was not genuine.
That's good. And I love that he's thankful for it. It's
He
really
is.
sweet. Really, really sweet. Had you tried to other resources to, try to change these challenges in the past, Hannah?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Just curious if you had tried to change these challenges in the past and why Delight Your Marriage was different.
I think that I had, especially with the um, especially with the respect piece. I don't know, just
Mm,
reading books over the years or listening to different podcasts or, um, yeah, probably mostly those things. And again, it was just the lack of practical application that just always left me still sitting there saying, well, what am I supposed to do about this? You know what I mean? Like we talk, like podcasts will talk about it a lot or books will talk about it a lot, but there's not a lot of practical how-tos.
yeah, I hear you.
Yes.
Good. Was there a most impactful moment, do you think, for you within the course of the women's program, Hannah?
That's a deep question.
Mm, take your time.
I might have to think about that for a second.
Yeah, and go ahead. Take your time.
Um, I I think that some of my biggest celebrations were just, I don't know, being in a place where getting uncomfortable and getting vulnerable was encouraged. Um, I think that yes, vulnerability is just an area I tend to struggle with. And there were lots of opportunities to kind of break through some of that throughout the whole program. Um, I also think, again, just getting a better understanding of what my husband needs and how how he hears different words, or how he hears different different words or commands or requests. And um again, it's just really a big piece is like uh getting a grasp on how I was treating him, and like starting to see those patterns, and then given the tools to work through them in order to, you know, change the things I wanted to come out, because there would be ways I would say things or not say things, and it would leave an impression that I wasn't necessarily trying to leave.
Wow. Wow. That's good. Really good.
Yeah.
So the encouragement to be vulnerable, definitely not easy,
Nope.
right, Hannah? Yeah, definitely not easy. But do I get the sense that you felt like you were in a safe community in order, to be able to do so?
Absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
yes, the community of women that I hopped in with, it's, the first week or two, you kind of get on the calls and you're trying to figure out, what weighs up and what weighs down. Um, but definitely by, the second or third week, you you realize how everyone is here for, a similar, we're all here for similar goals. Not for the same reason, not because we have all the same situations, but because we are all there looking for change. Um, and to Bella's point, in so many of her modules, like, change takes vulnerability, and it takes, feeling weird. And there's much encouragement to that. And, so much that we all know, we all feel a little weird. And it's kind of like you're all just in it together.
Totally. Yeah. It's really a true sense of community.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Recognizing that you're not alone
No, right.
in the challenges that you're facing, and then from those similar goals, and the safety of the community is really sweet. I love
Yes.
it. Yeah, really good. I'm also curious, Hannah, if the results that you've experienced, these really sweet um, encouragements from your husband, have have those things impacted your faith?
I would say yes. And in some ways, it's almost as simple as, these things are, these principles are laid out in the Bible that Bella uses, in a lot of the teaching that she does. And so I think it, so it's kind of like, okay, they're laid out there. She helps give you the how to. You do the things that you're supposed to be practicing, and there are there are results.
Mhm.
So in some ways, it's encouraging, even just in the simple fact that, yes, the Bible does lay out the best way for marriage to be done.
Yes.
And there's a reason it already knew what men needed. And yes, maybe some of the how-tos are vague or missing in the practicals, but you follow the scripture, and you are here to love your husband well, and things change and are moving in a better direction. Not that I didn't believe the Bible before, but it's just one of those things in my life where it's like, oh, right, you do the thing that it says to do, and things and life goes a different, a better direction.
Mhm. Yeah, it kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier, where there, Bella just she has this beautiful grace from the Lord to be able to make scripture land in your heart.
Correct.
You I am the same, and I came in with with the understandings. I read my Bible, and I thought I got it, but
Yep.
it was totally missing. I was missing the mark. I was missing the mark over and over and over again. Um, but the way in which Bella teaches us wives, it really just it lands within the heart, which then just culminates, from there.
Yes,
Yeah, that's really
absolutely.
sweet. What was your experience in working with Bella, Hannah?
Oh, she's so fun.
Mm. I love that
Um,
she is. You're so right.
she is. She's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
She is, um, I appreciate that she is a good listener and she is tender and compassionate and so passionate about her work and about
Mm,
seeing seeing marriages change and seeing husband and like taking that stress of marriage and marriage relationship off the table of life stress, right? There's so many things in life that are stressful, and her goal is just for marriage to not be a stress point. And she does such a great job of, encouraging husbands and wives to do that. And but on the other hand, she also will get a little tough when we're having a pity party,
hmm.
which we need sometimes.
Yes.
Um, so yes, I think she has been gifted the ability um, to balance compassion and understanding with a little bit of a okay, but we can do hard things mentality.
Yes. And that's that coach model,
Yes, which is so
right?
different even than, therapy or therapists. It's very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, Hannah, had you been through any type of counseling, marriage, or individual for these struggles before you came to Delight Your Marriage?
Um, Actually, my husband and I had started marriage counseling before before I did DYM, and we have continued through that kind of alongside. And so the answer is yes. And again, I think I'll just say that while there are definitely benefits to be found in couples counseling, and we have benefited from it,
Yes.
um, there is just a different being coached by someone on this role of wife, um, and getting to ask, questions about specific situations or whatever with Bella. And again, some of that like we can do hard things mentality, um, that counseling just kind of doesn't quite get to for the most part. The coaching experience is definitely a very different one.
Yes. It is very different. Not to say that one is better or worse, but very
No,
different.
I think they
Uh,
both have their place, but
they do.
yeah, again, it's the practicals and the not that therapists won't, say, hey, wife, maybe you should stop and think about this, or hey, husband, you should stop and think about that. But when you're truly going through uh specific situations like we do in the modules with Bella, and it's like, okay, you're kind of working out by week different things.
Hmm.
It's just it's very different.
Yeah, that's good. I love it. Really sweet. And how
Yeah.
about is there been an impact on your family as a whole? Maybe your kids? as a result of the work that you've done here, Hannah?
I think the answer to that is yes.
Hmm.
Um, I think that there has been maybe more peace and more, what else? So like, some of the playfulness that is a big part of DYM. I think having me needing to pull some of that out for my husband translated into me pulling some of that out for my kids.
Hmm.
And so I think I was able to kind of relax a little bit and get even a little more playful with them because I was already doing it with my husband. And um, so yes, there has definitely been a bit of a shift inside of the family.
That's an exciting shift.
It is.
It is. It's a very, very exciting shift because just from there, everything's a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
There's more smiles, more laughter, more connection.
correct.
Yeah, that's good. Really good.
Yes.
Is there anything that maybe happened that you're grateful for, Hannah, that you didn't necessarily expect coming into the program?
Something I didn't expect.
Yeah,
Um, might have to think about that for a second too.
yeah. Take your time.
I I think this was definitely something I didn't expect in the program. Um, there, one of the first exercises was to just go through things that, like, writing down items or things that had happened between my husband and I that frustrated me or annoyed me or whatever. And the point was to kind of work through some forgiveness for that. And I remember thinking at the beginning of that exercise, I was like, I don't have anything I need to forgive him for. Like,
Hmm.
I'm fine. I mean, marriage is marriage and, but there's not really anything I'm holding on to. And I started writing them down and kept flipping pages and really realized how many things were that were in my heart that were fresh. Like, some of them really brought me to tears, even just to write them down.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it surprised me at how much I had built up um, inside that I hadn't necessarily even realized was potentially a barrier to me being playful or being vulnerable or um, any of this, any of the things that we work on. And
Hmm.
I think that, again, so much of the reflective piece of this program, the sitting down, thinking through different things, thinking through your life and your situation and your marriage and the specifics of that, um, has been like such a gift. It's been hard in some areas, but it definitely is also such a gift because I think, like, that has brought a lot of awareness to me that maybe I hold on to things that I don't really realize I'm holding on to, and how impactful that can be in my responses.
Wow,
Um, so yeah, that was a big surprise.
that's excellent. Really excellent. because they can almost somewhat be the root of the unknown disrespect, right? If we go back to
Yeah.
the challenge to begin with and not really truly understanding what,
Mm.
what respecting your husband means. I love that you had the opportunity to unearth some of those roots and um, yeah, just eradicate them.
Yes.
Really, really great.
Yes. It was
Ah,
an
so
excellent
good.
deep dive into my own self.
Hmm.
Very helpful.
Wow. Wow. A
Very
deep
good.
dive into yourself. That's so good, Hannah.
Mhm.
So, so good. Anything else you'd like to share about your experience here with Delight Your Marriage?
I will just say that it is, it has been so much better than I expected.
Hmm.
Um, so much more. I don't know what I was expecting. Um, but the it has been so clear and organized and well laid out, um, all to help me find clarity in some of my own thoughts and feelings and understanding and building understanding of what my husband needs, and also habit building on top of that, and to
Yes.
find, this community of women who again are here for a similar goal of wifing well, and um just trying to messily figure out what that looks like and to continue to persevere. It has exceeded my expectations.
Oh, that's fantastic. Really sweet.
Yes.
I love what you said a bit ago. You said love your spouse well and things change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, which sounds so basic, but makes a difference.
it does.
A
It
big
makes a
difference.
world of difference. Makes a world of difference.
It does.
Well done, Hannah. So good. I'm so grateful that you found us, right? You found us. You chose to jump in, even not really knowing what to expect.
Yes.
But then clearly you did lean in.
Good.
You leaned into the recipe that Bella puts in front of you. You committed to it. You leaned into the community to reach that level of vulnerability. There was self-awareness in the work that you did here. And
Yes.
yeah, I'm just so proud of you. I think it's so exciting to have these changes in place and the tools in place, right? The tools to know how to navigate this as life goes on and little kids become big kids and seasons change. Really fantastic. Is it safe to say that you got the revamp that you were hoping for, Hannah?
Yes, I think I did. I
Yeah.
think that definitely, yes, has given me um, much understanding and many tools to work with.
So good. So good. Hannah, what would you say to a wife who is facing the similar challenges or experiencing the similar challenges that you were prior to coming into the program? What would you say to her if she were considering doing a clarity call or doing this work?
I would say that it is it is worth the time to get on a phone call and be asked some really deep questions by one of the advisors, or and that was a thing that surprised me. I think that really quickly it was like, what is your goal for your marriage and what do you want your life to look like? I don't think I was expecting that. But yes, it is worth the time to just make the call and
Yes.
see if there is a fit. And the lack of pressure to decide right then was so helpful and really gave me the chance to be able to sit and ponder some of the questions that I had been asked and just really kind of talk to the Lord about it and decide, and I ultimately obviously decided that it was the right move to make.
That's
So
right.
just
Yeah.
give them a call.
Alcohol. That's right. Come on in. We welcome
Won't- You
you.
won't regret it.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's very sweet. Thank you for that. And all of this, really. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate, as I said in the beginning, your time and your courage to come in and share your story here and share what those struggles were, but also what the Lord did in you and through you through this program. I love that that you have a deeper understanding of your husband and especially love that he saw those changes in you and he recognized that you were leaning in, right? You were really making changes that have had a huge impact on your life and the life of your family. And so good. So, so good. Anything else before we go, Hannah?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I feel like yes, it's just the program has been a gift and it it will have long-term impact.
Wow. Yes, yes, yes. Amen. Well, praise the Lord for every ounce of it and all that's to come too, right, Hannah? This is a to be continued story
Oh, for sure.
in the
Yes.
yeah, but in the right direction, right? In the with the right trajectory and the right heart. And as you said, learning to love your husband well. That's so sweet. So, so sweet. Thank you for your time today, Hannah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So amazing. Thank you, Hannah, for being brave and sharing what God did in your heart. Listener, there is hope for you. Just because this is how you have felt towards your husband for all these years does not mean this is how it has to be for the future. Right now, we have husbands and wives that are separated in different programs so each of you can grow in the ways that God needs you to grow. And so I invite you to own it and decide, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. I'm going to change myself because that's the only person I can control. I can't change my spouse. I can only look in the mirror and say, God, you change me. And so we invite you, we have a structured program, whether you're a husband, whether you're your wife, if you want transformation in your marriage, if you want connection, if you want your intimacy healed emotionally, spiritually, and physically, we're here for you. We're here for you. I just had some recent graduates it's jaw dropping, the kind of pain and even childhood trauma they've gone through. And yet God turned the whole thing around to peace and connection and love, truly, between a husband and a wife. So regardless of where you're coming from and why, God can change it all. Let me pray for you. Lord Jesus, you know this person who needed this story today. You know, and you know their heart, and you know what's going on. And I pray, Father, that you would give them that hope that's required for them to hang on. Lord, I love in 1 Corinthians 13 where it says, and these three remain: faith, hope, and love. And Lord, I pray this one would recognize that faith and hope are going to last forever and they can choose it today. Hope that you have good in store for them, their family, their marriage. Lord, and it might be effort, it might be this program, whatever their next step is, God, give it clarity to them that they can walk in your ways, Lord. In In Jesus' name, amen. Well, dear listener, I am thrilled that you joined us today. I do hope that you are leaving with hope that God can change it all. And if we are that next step, very simple, go to delightyourmarriage.com/cc. You can also go to dymarriage.com and just click the call button. Also, our phone number's there. We would adore walking alongside you, just watching God transform the whole thing, just like he did Hannah's. All right, let's see you hopefully on the inside or next week. God bless.